credit score system feels like an ancient, unbreakable law of physics. You have been conditioned to believe that this three-digit number is a natural part of the global economy, an absolute requirement for navigating the modern world. But the dark truth is, it was invented recently for one specific reason: to silently track your money and normalize your massive consumer debt. You think your bank account is private. You are actually being monitored by a silent tracker. Massive financial institutions have engineered a corporate matrix that turns your personal financial reputation into a highly profitable, quantifiable product. They do not want you to build independent wealth. They want you to be a perfectly predictable, completely obedient consumer. Financial window to protect your capital and escape this tracking system is closing today. With the rapid digitization of global transactions and the relentless advancement of credit algorithms, Wall Street is perfecting its extraction models at lightning speed. If you click away from this video and choose to blindly accept the credit system as a normal part of life, you are voluntarily signing a contract to have your future income harvested by commercial banks forever. The cost of ignoring this reality is your absolute financial freedom. But if you stay, I will reveal the exact psychological architecture the 1% uses to break the corporate barcode, reject the debt matrix, and build true generational equity. This is the financial blueprint massive credit bureaus desperately want to keep hidden from the working class. The dark origin of the credit system. To escape the silent tracker, you must first understand its dark origin. You must realize that the system you blindly trust was not designed to help you build wealth. It was designed to keep you borrowing. The modern credit score, specifically the FICO score, was not introduced until 1989. It is not an ancient economic principle. It is a recent corporate invention. Look at how the middle class evolved to fall into this specific trap. If you look at the economic history of the United States after the Second World War, there was a profound culture of equality. In the 1950s, the economy grew and the standard of living leveled out. The rich drove Chevys and the working class drove Chevys. People measured their well-being against their peers, and because the wealth gap was relatively small, expectations were grounded in reality. Starting in the 1980s, the economic winds shifted. Wealth began to concentrate heavily at the top. The top 1% saw their incomes skyrocket, while the incomes of the middle class completely stagnated. Here is the fatal psychological flaw. The middle class kept the exact same social expectations from the 1950s. Bank manager making $80,000 a year sees an investment banker making $900,000 and feels a subconscious entitlement to live a similar luxury lifestyle. Since the bank manager's actual income did not go up, how did he bridge the gap? Debt. Massive, crushing consumer debt. Wall Street weaponized this exact middle-class desire to keep up with the Joneses. They created the modern credit score system to normalize living far beyond your means. They programmed society to view debt not as a terrifying risk, but as a normal, necessary tool for survival. Your credit score is simply an algorithm designed to measure how profitably a bank can exploit your desire for synthetic status. How algorithms monetize your behavior. Once the system normalized debt, it needed a way to monitor its subjects. Your daily routine is no longer yours. It is data for the silent tracker. Every time you swipe a premium credit card to buy a luxury item, you are not just spending money. You are feeding an algorithm. Modern capitalism is incredibly efficient at two things: generating wealth and generating envy. When you absorb the synthetic lifestyles of the internet, your ambition to make money is instantly outpaced by your subconscious desire to spend it. One step forward pushes the financial goalpost 2 steps ahead. You constantly feel like you are falling behind your peers. So you spend money you do not have to buy things you do not need to impress people who do not care about you. Let us expose the brutal paradox of this behavior. When you see someone driving a $100,000 luxury car, you rarely think about the driver. Instead, you think, if I had that car, people would think I am important. People tend to want wealth to signal to others that they should be liked and admired. But in reality, those other people bypass admiring you because they use your wealth as a benchmark for their own desire to be admired. You spent $100,000 of borrowed money to buy respect, but you bought nothing but your own invisibility. You became a nameless mannequin holding the steering wheel. The credit bureaus monetize this exact psychological weakness. They reward you with a higher credit score when you consistently take on debt and pay interest. They condition you to view a high score as a badge of honor, a trophy that proves you are successful. But it only proves that you are a highly efficient gear in their wealth extraction machine. You are perfectly productive, and you are perfectly trapped. Corporate debt matrix and the margin of error. The ultimate danger of obsessing over your credit score is that it encourages you to destroy the most vital component of financial survival, your margin of error. The greatest investors and wealth builders in history understand that the most important part of every plan is planning on your plan not going according to plan. The future is entirely unpredictable. Debt is the absolute enemy of survival because it completely eliminates your room for error. Some of the best examples of smart financial behavior can be found in an unlikely place: the casinos of Las Vegas. Not among the casual gamblers, but among the elite group of blackjack players who practice card counting. These professionals know that even if they have a statistical edge over the casino, the house will still win 49% of the time. Therefore, their entire strategy is based on humility. They know they must have enough capital to withstand a terrible run of bad luck. They never bet all their chips on a single hand, no matter how good the odds look, because the cost of being wrong is total ruin. When you use your credit score to finance a lifestyle that requires a massive portion of your monthly income just to service the debt, you are operating with zero margin of safety. You are betting all your chips on the assumption that you will never lose your job, that the economy will never crash, and that you will never face an unexpected medical emergency. Leverage is the devil in the financial system. Pushing yourself into debt to make your money go further pushes your routine risks into something capable of producing absolute ruin. If a recession hits, the person with zero debt and high cash reserves has options. They can wait for a better job, or they can buy assets at a massive discount. But the person obsessed with maintaining their credit score, drowning in car leases and mortgages, gets completely wiped out. The game is over and they are removed from the board. The elite understand that financial survival is the ultimate strategy. You must prioritize being financially unbreakable over looking rich. Escaping the silent tracker. To build true wealth, you must commit a radical act of rebellion. You must stop caring about your credit score and step outside the predictable consumer matrix. The elite do not lie awake at night worrying about their FICO score. They do not rely on commercial banks to fund their existence. They rely on equity, ownership, and modern leverage that they control entirely. If you want to escape the silent tracker, you must completely sever your reliance on debt. The masses believe that to make more money, they must borrow capital from a bank to start a physical business or buy real estate. But modern leverage is ruthless because it has zero marginal cost and requires absolutely no one's permission. Code and media, software and digital content. These are armies of invisible soldiers that work for you while you sleep. They do not require a credit check. They do not ask for your FICO score. You must use your time to command these soldiers. Whether you are writing a piece of software, recording a video, or building a digital product, you are creating equity. You stop being a passive consumer of the banking system, and you start being an active architect of your own empire. You must also redefine what wealth actually is. Capitalism makes helping people fake it until they make it a cherished industry. The truth is that wealth is what you do not see. Wealth is the luxury cars not purchased. The first-class upgrades declined. Wealth is the financial assets that have not yet been converted into the physical stuff you see. When you stop spending your money to show people how much money you have, you stop needing to borrow from Wall Street. You effectively become invisible to the credit algorithm. The silent tracker loses its power over you because you no longer require its permission to survive. 1% Wealth Sovereignty Framework. The transition from an obedient debtor to a sovereign architect requires a complete rewiring of your financial psychology. You must audit your life for illusions. Look at your credit cards, your subscriptions, and your lifestyle inflation. Are you building an unbreakable fortress of independence, or are you just upgrading the interior of your own cage? Every dollar you save by rejecting consumer debt is a dollar that buys you the highest dividend money pays, the ability to control your own time. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every single morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. You can accept a lower-paying job with more purpose. You can wait for the perfect investment opportunity. You can walk away from a toxic boss without a second thought. You cannot achieve that level of freedom if your future income is already promised to a commercial bank. Poverty is a series of reactive, emotional decisions based on exhaustion, the desire for status, and the desperate need to maintain a credit score. Wealth is a series of proactive, structured choices based on long-term survival and absolute ownership. The system was perfectly engineered to track your behavior and extract your capital. Now it is your turn to hack the system. Take back your margin of safety. Reject the synthetic status game. Build your armies of invisible soldiers. Keep your capital hidden from the silent tracker. Hit the subscribe button as your declaration of independence. Are you going to keep obsessing over a 3-digit number, or are you ready to buy your freedom? Master your mind. Build your system. See you in the next protocol.